that we'd had that conversation over a year ago.
Yeah, that's why I remember being embarrassed. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Ironically, I'll never forget that I forgot.
And we're live.
Sorry, I'm just sharing the fact that we're live on Twitter.
Being able to hear that music does have its benefits.
We're live.
It only counts when you post it on Twitter. That's why we're all waiting. It's not real until it's on Twitter. So I think we're good now.
What's the creepy background? Is that creepy background? All the rumours flying around about the coronavirus vaccine, but no one's heard the real rumour, which is actually the coronavirus was invented, and so was the vaccine, by Umbrella Corp. And the vaccine is actually the T virus. And we're all going to turn into zombies. And the reason that they've done it now is because Mila Djokovic is trapped in the Monster Hunter, whatever. She's trapped in the Monster Hunter universe and can't come back and save us. So we're all screwed.
There is a rumor she actually is going to return for the television show.
I'm sure that'll be god-awful.
Evil television show?
Yeah, for Netflix.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Already in development. They just started last year. So they're already filming right now. But the rumor is she will be in the show, not playing Alice, but playing a different role. But it's going to actually
why does she have to be in this?
The show will take place between games 1 and 2.
This is not the movie.
She's not going to be in it as Alice. Why is she in it at all?
Because it's a different universe, my friend. It is a different universe.
As if my Saturday can get any worse. It's only 23 minutes past 8. I've got no milk, so I can't drink tea. And then you give me that news. Hello, hello. We are Pixel Pints. We are the only global podcast that talks about two things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. We're not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly, especially at 8 o'clock in the morning, unless there's a Lions tour on. I'll go round the room and see how everyone is. Evan, how's things in Japan?
That's all right. It's always nice when working 6 days a week to finally be off for at least half of my Saturday and spend it with everyone on here. So doing well. Thank you.
Michael? You're not in Japan, just to qualify that.
Yeah. I'm in UK, rainy Southampton. It's very ugly outside right now and very cold, but I'm doing great. It was really easy for me to wake up this morning, so it means it's a special day. So, yeah.
It wasn't easy for me to wake up this morning, Christ. Dan, how's things with you?
Good. Another week of remote teaching, so it went well. So yeah, that's basically my life is this computer right now. So so yeah, all good really. Yeah.
And Mitch, how's things in LA?
Better. Get my second shot of the vaccine on Tuesday. Which I will tell you right now, your arm is sore. Like, I'm not joking. You can't lift your arm for 48 hours. It's really hard to lift your arm.
Was that after the first one or the second one?
This was after the first one, but I heard the second one's worse.
It also depends what vaccine you get.
Yeah.
That's Pfizer.
That was Pfizer. Yep, I got Pfizer.
AstraZeneca doesn't have that same effect.
And I'm also very lucky I'm not getting the Johnson & Johnson that just got announced. That was 66% effective. So I wonder how when people are going to fight over going, but I want the Pfizer vaccine.
Which arm is it?
Sorry, what?
Which arm is it? Do they prefer to do it in the right or left, or
you can choose. They just said like, what's your non-dominant, and I drive stick shift, so it was really hard for me to drive home. It's because I'm like holding the wheel like just like this, not lifting my arm, so I'm going like switching.
That's horrible.
But yeah, it was just really weird. I was like, I can't lift my arm. This is bad. But besides that, no, I felt fatigue on the next day at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where I was like just really tired and I just really wanted to go to bed, and that's just a common thing to happen. I know a bunch of people that have gotten the vaccine because just my field I work in, I work with people that are also getting the vaccine. They have not ran into extreme stuff. Only the one person had like a fever the next day, and it went away
any of
one
them
day
developed
later.
a taste for human flesh?
Not
Yeah, that's what we need to know.
not yet, but they haven't gotten the second shot.
Okay, right, that's it. There's no one else on this stream.
How are you, Keith?
I'm upset I don't have any milk, so I can't
Including
drink
you.
tea. Including myself. Yeah, so moving on. Who's got beers?
Does our imaginary
I have-
friend
Really?
have beers?
Nobody else has beers except for me.
The imaginary
I have a
friend.
beer.
So tonight I'm drinking 805. This is Firestone Walker.
Oh, Matt, hi, welcome back. How's things in
hello.
Vegas?
Didn't see you there.
Live from Las Vegas.
doing well. They are 60, so it's starting to warm up a little bit, even in January.
And I heard that you went to see the Backstreet Boys in Vegas. Is that correct?
This is, yes, a phenomenal show. They are larger than life.
What memorabilia did you come away with?
I don't have any with me, but next time I'm on the show, I'll be sure to bring it.
Okay.
Actually, short story for you, Keith. When I used to play baseball and t-ball at like a certain center where we had a bunch of baseball fields, in the summer, it was a summer program. We'd have a fair on the biggest tournament of the year, and one of the biggest prizes was getting the Backstreet Boys videotape, where you get to see their live concert. I remember getting that. I love that.
My guilty little secret is the first live concert I ever went to was the Backstreet Boys in Shanghai.
Wow.
Okay,
And
so
the most impressive thing about that was being on a subway car
I appreciate
with
your honesty.
millions of Chinese people. None of them could speak a word of English, and them all singing word for word every Backstreet Boys song in perfect English, but they didn't really understand what they were singing. That was the
That
best.
is
That was the
fucking
best
awesome.
experience.
Wow.
okay, to raise the level of musical tone somewhat. So the first music video I bought
Wait,
so
you
that I could
bought
watch a
music
live
videos?
concert from home. So I could
Yeah, you could.
was Guns N'
Wow.
Roses User Illusion tour in Japan.
Oh, wow. All right.
So
Oh, interesting.
there
this
you
on-
go.
Was this on Betamax?
No, this is on VHS. And then the second one I bought
That's not embarrassing though. That's like a good.
That's
I mean,
no, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'm trying to improve the musical standards.
Gotcha. You're raising. Okay.
And then the second one I bought was Iron Maiden, Back to the Rock, 1998, live from Donington.
Nice. Wait,
Solid
what
picks.
year was that?
98.
So was that Blaze Bailey, or was it Dickinson?
Dickinson.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So now that I'm the only one on here that has any decent musical taste, Matt, did you want to talk about your 805?
It's pretty decent. It is a nice 4.7%. I don't know if my camera picks that up. So yeah, it's a nice session beer. It's pretty light for an ale, but it's full bodied. Color looks almost like a lager. Yeah.
Think a few of those. Have a good time.
Indeed.
What does it say on the top, just above the 805? Didn't we say make fun of it? Not make fun of it, but
Keith did, yeah, properly chilled. Or properly
properly.
chilled.
Did you properly chill it?
I
What-
did properly chill it, yes.
Oh, okay, good. That's why it tastes so good. I got it.
I also-
My bad.
I also cashed out my GameStop stocks. So I got
Look at that.
yeah.
You wouldn't believe the number of times I've had to explain to people what was actually going on with that.
My roommate's
I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but now a lot more people know about how the stock market works.
Well, it's
Or
it's
an
almost as
aspect of
if
it, a part of it.
it's almost as if having something high profile to show millions of people who would normally keep themselves away from something like abusing the capitalist system now know how to do it, rather than just a few people in select industries or with a select amount of money that they can afford to abuse the system.
It's almost as beautiful poetry as the money actually goes to the people for once, and they go crazy about it. I've been fascinated.
It's not though, because it runs a real risk of pretty much crippling every pension in the world.
Well,
because if people wanted to, they could just abuse the stock market and ruin the pensions market.
For sure.
That's the thing. It seems like there's two sides that I've been hearing. There's like the Bloomberg Yahoo Finance side, which is, we could deregulate as far as the retail investor was concerned, and allow them to do the same types of things that the hedge funds do. But we run the risk of the economy collapsing, or we put pressure on the brokers to make it even more difficult for the retail investor to do the same types of things that hedge funds and large investment groups do.
Or there's a third option, which is you regulate hedge funds more,
Yeah.
which no one seems to be talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like let's bully the little guy.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
that's the one that's
all of
causing
a sudden
the
it's the
problems
little guy's the problem. It's like,
On,
oh
I was-
come on,
I was
oh
watching
come
an
on, they're
interview on
using the
CNBC,
same rules as you are,
and
you're getting
the guy the interviewing the hedge fund manager, it was a different hedge fund manager. He was like, but GameStop stock is so overvalued. It doesn't have the business value of that company.
To
and the hedge
your
fund manager
assessment,
goes,
it does.
well, look at Tesla. Tesla is a losing company, hasn't made any money. Look at their stock price. So if you're trying to tell me that company performance to do with stock price, you're talking out of your ass.
Stock value is only on the perspective of the buyer. Like, it is on the perspective, if you think GameStop is that great of a company, you could buy as much stock as you want. It is all on the perspective of what you think it is valued. Like, it's so screw that.
Okay, Evan, which Japanese brewery have you bought stock in recently? Bringing it back on topic. Stay on topic.
We're too close.
I haven't bought any stock in any Japanese breweries, but I've enjoyed a lot of Japanese beer recently. This one I'm not opening today, but this is from the Fushimi ward of Japan. It's a place
Which
called
prefecture is that?
Oh, it's in Kyoto. So the southernmost ward of Kyoto proper. It's called Flying Gecko. It's an amber ale.
Ooh, I love that graphic.
And it's the classic kind of the kitsune fox mask, which I think makes an appearance in Ghost of Tsushima.
Also Naruto.
So they renovated an old tea, like an old
virus.
Yes,
tea processing facility.
Yeah, they sold. It was just they sold green tea there. I don't know if they made it on premises, but they renovated the building and now they brew beer straight out of it. And it's a really, really cool building, really old style Kyoto machiya, which is like a classic residential Kyoto building. But yeah, so I have this, and I'm not drinking that today. I'm drinking something that's not as cool. Actually, I don't really know if I like this label. It's called Captain Crow.
Yeah, that's not as cool.
Extra. No, not at all. Maybe I should have shown this first, is what I should have done. Captain Crow Extra Pale Ale, handcrafted for enjoyment by Olaho Beer. It's the name of the brewery.
I love the way some people you crafted for enjoyment, as if you'd craft something for displeasure.
Yeah. Good time artisanal beers brewed in Nagano. So this is a
I think
5%.
Sorry, crafted for enjoyment, to make you think that if you don't enjoy it, we tried to make you enjoy it, but never mind.
So the onus is on me.
It's on you if you don't enjoy this. It's on you.
Yeah. So it pours a golden. This is a bit more amber than it looks on screen. It's a bit kind of golden amberish. So extra pale ale, I guess, for 5%. Wow, that's very, very sweet on the nose, but you can smell the hops. It actually has a really good balance of aroma there between the malt and the bitterness of the hops. Yeah, that's got a solid bite to it. It's one of those beers where when it says extra pale ale, I think it actually hits it on the nose where you don't want to go full IPA, but maybe a pale ale is too light. It is a kind of a middle ground to that, and yeah, at 5% for a beer that has this much hoppy bite to it on the tail end, I think. Yeah, this is actually it's better than the can design. I'll say that much. So yeah, this is actually pretty good. I've had it like years and years ago, and I didn't remember how it tasted, but yeah, that's good. I like that.
I
Good
don't
stuff.
have any beers, but I do have beers. I'm just not drinking them because thanks to Keith, I got a shipment of 8 beers. That I will be. I think we've seen some of them because I think they're very the similar ones that he got. But I will
Nice.
be rolling those out and showing you different beers. But it was good. Thank you very much, Keith. Haven't had a chance to open any of them yet.
Cool. Because it was
Oh,
Burns
just-
night. Oh, Evan,
Sorry, go ahead.
just one thing. Are you wearing a jacket indoors?
Yeah, the temperature dipped in Japan, and there's no insulation in Japanese houses or apartments. I don't know if I told you guys that. So you got to really crank your aircon up if you want to be warm. And I don't want to spend a lot of money on heating because I'm a cheap bastard. So I'm wearing a coat indoors. Yes, I'm not wearing it for some stylish purposes. It's actually quite cold here.
You're going to break
I
the
just wanted to
sunglasses
say I
out
got
into
this-
the next set.
yeah. No more gimmicks. I'm not going to jump in like change like I got to stop doing all that shit, by the way. It's a new year, 2021.
Now he's gonna do magic tricks.
I know it's your favorite
Brewdog.
McWomble, but they were selling this and it was cheaper to buy 3 in this weird package with a little handle on it. But hey, look at! Don't mind me. I'm just. I'm sorry. All right, let's continue.
Right, so it was Burns night last Monday. So in honor of Robbie Burns, I was drinking McEwen's Export, which is like the delicious
I've had that.
combination between a brown ale and a lager.
Interesting. Okay.
It says on the can, full bodied, which it is. Yeah, I love McEwen's Export, and I've got a McEwen's Levy in the fridge, which is
So
bottle conditioned ale.
is it like Newcastle with more effervescence?
It's slightly less malty than a bottle of dog.
Okay.
And yeah, it is more carbonated. But
Right.
More
it's I've kind of inherited my love from this from my dad,
Nice.
because you have to. And the other one that I've had, which I thought would be worth sharing, is this weird.
That is a weird label.
Yeah, I've got another one. This is my latest batch from the UK and Europe from Beer 52. This one's a German wheat beer. This is one of the 2 wheat beers in that pack. This one was the weak one at 5.2%. The other one's 7.2%. So I didn't have that one last night, knowing that I was going to get up for this in the morning.
Wow.
This was actually a really nice beer. I haven't had a wheat beer in a long time. And it was really refreshing to have something I've not had in that length of time, because wheat beers have a totally different mouthfeel.
They do, yeah.
Definitely. More so than the difference between other beers, yeah.
It's almost chalky for me.
Yeah. Matt, it's probably interesting that you're on, because by me paying this monthly subscription to get a random set of beers sent to me, I've developed a taste for milk stout.
Nice.
Are you serious? I almost don't believe you. I'm
Yeah,
going to see a
right?
taste test one day.
I had one on Thursday night, which was a chai milk stout, which
Okay.
I first started drinking it. It's produce of Scotland as well. It's fabulous. first started drinking it, thought I'm not going to enjoy this. Carried on drinking it, and thought no, this is actually really quite good. And then got to the last mouthful and thought, thank God that's done.
I get you with that because a lot of stouts, a lot of those types of beers, lovely, but I'll have one and move on to a different style.
Yeah.
So that's it from me. Unless anyone else has got anything they want to talk about.
Well, we have our topic, but we'll do that after your first thing.
Right. So we have the team. We have the team captains. What we don't have is a player to side with Mitch because Team Evan. Do you still want to call it Team Devon? You've got time to.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Let's go with what worked. Yeah.
Let's go with the winning formula.
Think,
So Mitch, out of Michael and Matt, who would you like to be on your team for today's quiz?
Do I get to know the topic?
It won't matter.
Oh.
we're lucky if we're gonna get a point, is what that means.
Well, I'll introduce the topic actually because this is the first quiz of the year. It's a brand new year. The questions are all on video game firsts.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go.
Oh God.
Burkoff.
You're gonna go with me. All
Yeah,
right.
let's go.
Okay.
Let's go to the original tag team.
Okay.
My,
does that put
my
Rafa?
dog is
he
going
a
crazy
silent
right
observer,
now.
or?
I have to just step away for 2 seconds.
I think I
I'll
get the sign.
do Matt's questions first then. Matt's questions. I'm already screwing up the team captains. Evan's questions first. Evan, are you ready?
Yes.
Dan, are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Team Devon, your first question. Ball Blazer was the first game released in 1984 by which newly reformed games publisher and developer?
Newly reformed. The
I'll
only
be
thing
honest,
I
I've
can
never
come up
heard
with,
of
Dan,
this
would be Atari, because didn't they kind of like go away after the fallout with ET and that? Newly reformed, I can't think of.
Yeah, go for it. In the 80s. Not a bad guess.
86, did you say?
84.
I mean, I can't think of any other company. 84.
Oh, 84. Yes, that makes me remember. It's a fabulous year.
Yeah, right.
6 more years before I was born.
Do you want to the only I have no idea what this is. The only thing I can think of is maybe like Atari reformed and put out a game.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Not a
Atari?
bad idea. Yeah.
Okay, Atari.
I'm going to give you a hint. The publisher and developer reformed recently.
Oh.
Oh, they reformed recently. Reformed recently?
I know. Do I get to steal if they
There's a
don't
lot
get
of
it?
companies. I don't know how long they've
But you
been
get to
around.
answer if they don't get it.
Okay.
And then
The only
and then
company
call
I
them
can
both
think
morons.
of. The only company that I can think that reformed was didn't THQ go away for a while then come back, but I didn't know I don't think they'd been around for that
Not
long.
recently. Well,
No.
well, it depends what the term recently would refer.
We're putting
Okay, give me an answer or I'm
a
going
timer
to...
on this.
Give me an
I don't
answer.
know. I honestly don't know.
Do you just want to say? I mean, this is obviously wrong. I'm sure THQ did not start
It's
in
wrong.
the 80s. I don't know, but
It is wrong.
Okay, thank
Michael, would you like to have a guess to include you in this section?
I have no idea.
Okay, Mitch.
Lucasfilm Games?
It was Lucasfilm
Oh.
Games.
Oh, of course.
oh,
God
They
damn
started
it!
that-
Why
they
can't we
started in
get
the
points
80s.
for that?
No, there's no stealing points.
We-
Right.
Burkoff, we would have had a point already.
Damn it. Yeah, apparently my neighbors are more intoxicated than I am, and they're making a lot of noise at fucking 12:45 in the morning. So
Okay.
Daisy's not happy. She doesn't like
No.
it.
Matt, Mitch, your first question. What year did John Madden first appear on a licensed NFL game?
ooh, I
9,
want to go with no, it's 89.
89.
Cold.
Now hold on. Was it called? Was it Madden?
It was just John Madden's football. It was for the.
That's
Nintendo.
right. Is sure it's 89, not 88?
Fuck, I don't know. It might be 88.
What one do you want to go with?
F it, 89.
You should have stuck to your guns, Mitch. It was 88. It was-
You're right. I mean, yeah. Shit.
Damn it. That's it.
right, Evan, come
I'm
back.
just gonna stick to this. I've gotten 2 questions right, and I didn't get any points for any of them.
Yeah. All right.
I thought
Sorry,
you-
I heard that.
I thought you
Thank
wasn't
God you
here.
guys didn't stick to your guns. Oh, she just got back home.
Oh.
Right, Evan, Dan. EA rebranded PGA Tour Golf to Tiger Woods PGA Tour Golf in 1998. But what year did EA PGA Tour Golf first get released?
I fucking hate golf.
I think I know.
I love golf games, but I have no idea when they've made
The only
first
golf I
PGA
like
golf
is in
game.
GTA 5.
Well, if they're thinking of an answer on a scale of 1 to 10, McWomble, the music for quiz.
I like it, and I like the flashy background as well.
yeah.
EGA,
What do you
like
think?
90, I don't know, 92,
Do you think it was
94.
before or after John Madden football? That's the question, which was 88.
I just remember seeing those, I don't even know if they were the same arcade. It was like 94, 92 or 94.
Let's go 92.
92.
Yeah.
It's 1990.
Oh, wow.
Wow, really
Oh,
early.
that's close.
I would have
Right.
went with 94,
Close.
96.
So
for sure.
this is, Mitch, you might be glad you have Matt on your team about the next question. These questions were chosen at random, and Mitch chose his teammate at random. He didn't know the questions in
What is
advance.
the name of the commander in Mass Effect? I'm just kidding.
Strangely enough, there was going to be a bonus question about what's the name of the first alien that Commander Shepard meets.
Ooh.
That's a bonus question for points for everyone who can name it. Type it in the chat. The first, right, here's the actual question. The
Wait,
first
don't,
Elder
don't
Scrolls.
type it in the chat because it's going to mess up the screen on my graphic, and just don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right.
Okay. Right, question. The first Elder Scrolls game was released in 1994. What was it called?
Arena.
There you go. 2 points.
Whatever he said. High five.
Right. Dan, your question, because your captain's chosen to bugger off.
He's so upset he stormed off.
What is it when... Fuck this quiz guy. The Sega Saturn and PlayStation released the first Street Fighter crossover game, which have become a fighting tournament staple. What IP was it crossed over with?
I'm waiting for Evan because I feel like Evan. I should know. Did you hear the question, Evan?
Wait, you said Sega Saturn? What did they cross over with?
So the Sega Saturn and original PlayStation featured the first Street Fighter crossover game that has become a fighting tournament staple. What IP was it crossed over with?
Oh, a staple? Street Fighter versus, well, there's Marvel versus Capcom. But you're saying Street Fighter versus something, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Wasn't it originally like Street Fighter versus X-Men or something like that?
I don't think so.
Was it that,
No.
or was it something like that? Stop. You try and cheese these answers.
No, I'm not
expressions
looking
on
at
team.
you when I say
Ooh.
this. I'm thinking out loud. Well, yeah, because I can't say Marvel versus Capcom. Street Fighter versus X-Men.
It's correct.
Oh,
2
wow.
points.
That was what it was, yeah. I had it
job.
in my mind. I was like, if they don't answer
We can't steal, but we can
We
say.
can't steal, but you can just say you know.
for the glory.
Right. Passing over to the other team, the original Xbox was first announced at CES in 2001, but which celebrity guest was on stage to announce the console?
I have no idea.
Now, definition of celebrity here. Are we talking about like a movie celebrity, like that kind of celebrity? Or are we talking about like a game celebrity?
I'll give you a hint. This was probably before their career really kicked off, and now they changed from being a entertainer into being a prolific movie actor. Not necessarily good movies.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I'll go Vin Diesel.
Well, these guys hate one another. It's Dwayne
Oh, The Rock Johnson. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I didn't know that
I'm
Dwayne
sorry,
Johnson was at
Mitch.
the Xbox launch.
I didn't know that either.
That was
But
in the height of his WWE career.
Yeah.
to tell you the truth,
I-
McMumble, as soon as you said that, like, that was the first thing I thought was Vin Diesel. And I can't believe Matt thought the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like that was the only thing I could think of like that for that time period.
Like, who's
And
a
then
celebrity?
based on what you said after the fact, I was like,
Because the Fast and the Furious franchise was kind of nosediving then. And he
Yeah.
revived his career with Riddick and all the other stuff.
Right. Passing it over, another wrestling question. WWF and WCW had their first licensed wrestling games released in the same year. But what year?
oh,
Oh, I think I know what year. I think I know.
I think I know it too. Yeah.
Sorry, is this ours? Could you repeat the question? I
It is,
apologize.
yeah.
He walks
That's-
away when he
Alright.
needs this question.
Every time.
There's questions to be are being
Answered here.
asked. I'll be as passive as possible. Questions to be
Um,
asked and answered outside of the podcast. Sorry.
WWF and WCW had their first licensed wrestling games released in the same year. But what year?
Oh, and don't forget about DW.
1990. Wait. No. Can
1980
you say that one more
something,
time?
isn't it?
I'm sorry.
WWF and WCW had their first licensed wrestling games released in the same year.
Can
But
I
what year?
What's the year?
can I name the games?
Man,
If you would
I'm
like.
just trying to think.
Don't help them.
W.
Wait until they're
Yeah,
done.
don't help
I don't
us.
I don't I don't
help
think
us.
it's going to help.
Don't do it.
Name the games. Go on. Be
No,
that guy.
I-
bow to your captain.
You're
I
my
don't play
teammate.
WCW
Don't you
versus
dare!
NWO
Don't you
before
dare
that.
back on! Don't you dare turn on me now!
90. Dan, I'm thinking.
I don't think it's.
they
I think
had
it's
to
in the
have had a-
80s. I don't know why.
A 1990 Dan isn't a year.
It's either going to be early 90s or late 80s. I think.
Do you want to say like 92 or 94?
Do you love
Because
those
they-
years? Why do you love those years?
We can
Oh,
just
yeah, I
stick-
have no idea
we
why.
can stick with 92 and hopefully one of the answers is 92.
That seems too. I don't remember when the WCW formed, but it was
Well,
really
they
popular on
formed,
the
but then were
N64
trying to be
with
taken
THQ
over.
games.
They were like taken over in around 2000 by the WWF or WWE.
So,
Oh, I think
are you
that's
saying earlier rather than later? 92?
right. I think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I want to.
All right, fuck it. 92.
I think 87.
Would anyone like to have a guess? Because that's wrong.
Is it 98?
I was gonna say 97.
No, it was 1989.
Yeah, I knew it was 87 or 88. Damn it!
So for the Nintendo,
Yep.
Yeah.
what was the WCW
right, so-
game?
I don't
Dan,
know.
you were right in that it was earlier.
I,
than-
I
knew it
didn't.
was
I
in the
didn't write
80s,
that down
but
in my
I
research. I
didn't know
just
what
looked
year.
up.
So
when
I
it
wouldn't have
first
got it
released.
anyway, Evan. I didn't.
Okay.
I was said 87. So.
How many
it was-
questions are in this quiz today?
2 more.
Okay.
So 1 more for them, 2 more for you
You,
guys.
you know what I'm gonna do
Um,
for the next quiz? I'm gonna have an active beeper that's gonna so that we get through them faster.
That's
Well,
probably
if
a
Evans
good
just
idea.
stopped
to be honest
naming
with you.
years and just gave me answers.
I'm
I know.
working it out
It could be
loud.
this.
I know.
I
It
don't-
might
don't
be.
know.
It might be 92. Damn it.
So
It may or may
Yoshi's
not be
first
92.
appearance on the Nintendo DS was in 2005, called Yoshi Touch and Go. But what was it called in Japan?
That's dirty.
I have no idea.
I don't
What was
I
the
don't
name in
even know
English
this.
again?
Yoshi
Yoshi
Touch,
Touch
and
and
Go.
Go.
Now I do. I
Yeah,
know.
I
I have to ask. Are you asking for an actual like Japanese wording, or are you asking for like the English translation of the
The
Japanese?
English
game?
translation
It was called Yoshi's Touch and Go.
in in the UK and America.
Burkoff, I'm thinking Stop and Frisk.
I don't think that's it.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
right answer.
That's it.
No. I'm sorry. Bad joke. I'm sorry.
Yoshi Eggland 5.
Touch and go.
I'll give you a hint. It's very similar to the
Stop and frisk?
US name of the game.
Here
Yoshi's
I'm
Go and Touch.
also thinking of Yoshi. Tickle me Yoshi. Like
Woolly Yoshi
What was the
tickle
question?
time.
Because my
like tickle me Elmo,
Mine is-
but tickle me
Oh,
Yoshi.
Yoshi, tickle you.
Sorry, what was the title
Actually,
one more
yeah.
time?
Rafa
Touch and go.
Okay.
would be your guy to go to for this because I don't know this much about Nintendo.
Can you repeat the question? My
So-
internet connection went down.
Yoshi made his first appearance on the Nintendo DS in 2005 on Yoshi Touch and Go, but what was it called in Japan?
Okay, I think I got mine, but I'm gonna hear what he says first.
I know they use an alternative, but I don't know.
I'm gonna say tap and go.
Uh,
Final answer.
Final answer. Okay, it was Catch Touch Yoshi.
That doesn't surprise me. That's Yoshi.
It's great.
I was never gonna get that.
Right, last question for Evan and Dan. Ninja Gaiden had its first handheld games released in 1991 on 2 different platforms. Name either game and the platform that it was released on, and they have to be the named game for that platform. So you can't have one that was released on one platform and the
Has
other
to be
game.
both.
Yep.
Is it 2 points if they get both?
It's 2 points if they get both.
Do we have a 2-point question?
All of them
Yeah.
are 2-point
All of
questions.
them 2 points.
Oh.
It's just harder for us
So-
to
I'm
get
sorry.
two
Is
points.
it 1 point?
I'm sorry, Keith.
You
Can
name
you
the
say
game?
that question one more time?
Jesus Christ. It's
I
not
know, I'm
92, by the way.
Or 94?
Or 94. So Ninja Gaiden had its first handheld games released in 1991
Okay, so not 92.
on 2 different platforms. Name either game and the platform that it was released on.
Handheld.
I
Well, it's
think
gotta
I know
be
what it
game.
is.
It did come out on the Game Boy,
I'm gonna
right?
say Game Boy. That's what I was thinking.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden on the Game Boy. That's my
It's
answer.
wrong.
Our answer.
Would
Damn it.
anyone else like to have a guess?
I think Game Gear was the system.
And what was the game?
It was Ninja Gaiden, but it was something else. There was something at the end of the name. I don't remember what it was.
It was Ninja Gaiden Game Gear.
Oh my.
I don't think that's the official name, dude.
It is.
That's crazy.
That's fantastic.
And that makes me feel better because neither of us would have.
Well, I
got
had a
that
Game
right, so-
Gear, so I probably should have known, but I wouldn't have known it was called Ninja Gaiden Game
I
Gear,
had-
the games. I would
yeah.
never have guessed that.
I had
That was-
I had
that was-
Ninja Gaiden and Shining Force, the Sword of Hylia or Hygeia, and Sonic. Those are the Game Gear games that I had.
Game Gear was
It's
awesome.
probably a marketing
I'll
thing.
give-
Like
I'll
they
give a
wanted to hit
random
home, like,
point.
hey, only on the Game Gear type of thing.
I'll give a random point to anyone who can name the Ninja Gaiden game on the Game Boy.
Ninja Gaiden
Ninja
Game Boy.
Gaiden Game Boy.
Wait, sorry to clarify. Game Boy or Game Boy Color?
Game Boy.
Not in
original.
Okay.
In 91, it would be Game Boy.
Yeah.
That
Ninja
wouldn't come out.
Ninja Gaiden Portable.
Ninja Gaiden
Gaiden
Shadow.
Um,
God, we would never have got either of those, Evan.
No.
That's good. It makes me feel better. We weren't even close. So
Right, and the last question. I thought one of you would get the Game Gear one.
I got pretty damn close.
Yeah. The last question for Matt and Mitch. BioWare released its first game in 1996, not 1992 or 1994.
Damn it.
What was the game?
Baldur's Gate.
are you positive?
Pretty positive, yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Is wrong. It was Shattered Steel.
What?
It was a mech
I know what that is.
sim game. So
BioWare.
currently,
games. That was so
Oh, wait. When was Baldur's Gate released?
1992.
No, that would be before Shattered Steel, apparently.
Oh, sorry.
don't start looking stuff up. Right, you're currently drawing. You're both on 2.
All right. Hey, that is a. All right, we'll start it off even. I like that.
Mitch, kill the music.
It was the end of 898, so easily the other game could have come out first.
Alright, so 2 years, yeah.
For the next podcast, I'll have the updated scores on the screen. I was gonna try to do it live, but I don't want to try that right now. I don't want to mess something up.
All right, I have a hard out at in 29 minutes, but obviously you guys can continue on with the podcast. So
Thanks for that. We really appreciate your permission.
you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, if I wouldn't have given it to you, it just shuts down in 29 minutes time, right? That's how this works.
Well, I guess it transitions into the actual topic, which is what you're playing. And since Evan's got to go home first, you might as well go first. Well, technically,
Can I go first?
No.
I've been playing a game called
No.
1992/94.
Those are 2 good years, by the way. Really solid years.
You're off by 1 year because I was born in '93. That was a great year.
You're the same age as my wife.
Oh no, man! You're sandwiched in between the best 2 years in the '90s. That's not a bad place to be. It must be nice and warm in between the golden years. I'll be quick, and then you guys can add anything if you have anything to add with the specific game I've been playing. But after and we talked about this briefly before the show started. After 130 hours of a game like Persona 5, I just needed podcast, lean back on the sofa, feet up, completely turn my brain off type of game. And the Spyro trilogy was on sale, like retro remaster sale on PlayStation Store. I've never played any of the Spyro games back in the day, not even a second of them, even demo or otherwise in a Toys R Us. So I bought that, and perfect game for that type of gameplay. Just kind
You
of
froze for
mosey
about
around
5
and,
seconds. To really
flying around.
The most awkward
Sorry,
freeze
sorry.
ever. It was like right out of suspense moment too.
You know what? My internet, and I'm getting a notification every now and then that the connection is bad. It's been bad the past 2 episodes. I don't know exactly what's going on. I apologize, but
We were all like, and? Perfect. Oh, okay.
what could it be? Yeah, so this is my first time playing the Spyro games, and it's just really, really fun. 3 platinum trophies. I like where Toys for Bob is going with this. 1 single purchase, 3 platinum trophies, and all you got to do is just collect all the fucking jewels in every level, basically, and maybe light 2 torches and all this type of stuff. But
You get
yeah,
the same thing.
I don't know how you guys.
You get the same thing. Three platinums in the Crash Insane trilogy.
But like Spyro is like
Easy.
nice
Spyro
and
is
easy.
It's
Holy shit, is that game easy? It is so lean back and just take it easy type of game, and that's what I need after playing such a massive, not a headache of a game, but you have to really be on it
Right.
with Persona.
It's a turn
So,
your
yeah.
brain off game.
Box quote: Persona
Totally.
5 Royal, not a massive headache of a game.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, Spyro, so far so good. I mean, there's 2 more games to play, and I'm only halfway through the first one. But yeah, it's good. It's like soul food, just relaxing and playing Spyro. And then, yeah, that's enough for me for now. I got to take a break from serious gaming. Games is with Z. That's
Okay,
it. That's all I got.
that's the only thing that you've been playing. It's just burning through Spyro to get platinum trophies to feed your addiction.
Yeah, I did download Bare Knuckle 4, aka Streets of Rage 4, which is what it's called on my PlayStation
Interesting.
Japan account, which I didn't
I love
know.
Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah,
I can't play it
so-
with Matt.
Yeah, Keith and I tried to
Huh.
play it, but the servers just like fell out. There was
Every
no
single
way to-
Really?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
man, that
Absolutely
sucks.
terrible.
We should try one more time because I purchased that and I'm ready to play a brawler.
I don't think it's crossplay.
I think, well, even if we were able to get it done, the UK, the US, and Japan would just fucking topple that game studio.
I mean, if you guys can't connect, we have little chance of the three of us doing
we'll just
anything.
cripple them. Yeah.
Keith, just so you know,
Dan,
save Raf and I for last because I have a feeling Raf and I are both playing the same game.
And Dan as well.
Oh, is Dan playing?
I'm
that
also
game?
playing another game, so I want to talk about both. But I'll go last. Then.
Save your second one for when we all three.
I would have played that, except it was installing the day one patch when I had an opportunity.
I was actually really pissed off about that. They lied. Their websites, I even checked. The website said midnight. It didn't actually go live in the UK until like 6 p.m. on the day.
It went
at
8
which time it then had to install the day one patch.
Install the day one patch.
Yeah, it went 8 a.m. in LA.
5 seconds for me.
I mean, PC Game Pass, it went by pretty quick. So, but
yeah, I just get pissed off with that. If you're going to say something is available at a specific time, make sure it's fucking playable at that specific time.
Yeah.
Well,
not here's the time where it starts installing.
Because it
the
even
update.
said if you'd pre-downloaded it on your Xbox, you'll be able to play it this time. If you've got the disc, you'll have to do the day one patch.
Well,
so there's definitely some fucking firmware issue there.
I will tell you though that at least I played on PC. So we're talking about the medium, basically, if people don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know what you were talking about, to be fair. But
so the medium on Game Pass on the PC version does not list a time that is readily available for you to play it. So I tried to play it at midnight, and it kept saying no. So then I went Google searching for a while, and I wasn't the only one running into issues being like, where's the time? Like, what time do we get to play this? And people are like answering back at the who made it? I forgot their team name already.
That the Layers of Fear people?
Bluebird team, that's right. That they were answering them on Twitter going, I would like to play your game. It's the 28th. Can I play your game? And no one's answering them. And then finally I found someone listing of actually what time it played, but it was like 8 a.m. in LA time. I was like, what the heck is that all about? It's like, gotta go to bed.
Maybe we should talk about Medium now then, Mitch, if we've already talking about it.
Sure. How many people
I
are
just
playing
do a
this
couple of very quick things?
Yes, you can.
So I am trying to play Streets of Rage with Matt. My wife felt that I was game cheating on her with Matt. So we've started another Streets of Rage playthrough for the two of us to prove that I'm not game cheating Streets of Rage against her behind her back. Aww. Even though she was sitting there watching me do it, looking slightly dejected, like, what the fuck are you doing trying to play this game with someone else?
It's because
you didn't hide it very well. No wonder you got caught.
Yeah.
She's sitting next to you.
I wonder if he's hearing your seductive chat between you two.
There was no seductive chat. It was, the servers are crapped out again. Literally couldn't get past the first screen at one point.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Whoever, I can't remember who's published that game, is a French studio?
.mu.
Yeah, sort your fucking servers out. If you're going to put something as online multiplayer, actually have the functionality to do it. And I think they've had problems since the launch that their servers just can't deal with people playing online. I remember when it came out, Jim Sterling was bemoaning, he was trying to get into online matches and they were just crap out, and it still looks like they've not spent any money on trying to fix the issue.
Yeah, I thought for sure because we were in a party together that like it should improve the experience a little bit, but it didn't. It was really bad.
Literally walk forward, punch someone, freeze.
Yeah.
And then it said one of us had timed out.
Yep.
The other thing that I started playing, and I might just delete, is Dante's Inferno.
Oh, I remember that game.
That's
was it like 2009-ish?
It's like the God of War version of Dante.
It was EA's version of God of War.
Yep.
It's just a bit meh.
Yeah, that's basically what the review said when it came out. Was like it's basically a blueprint of God of War, but it's nothing inspiring.
But they're going like for shock value.
Well,
yeah,
not only that, but they're also
design
going with like I heard the level design, the levels, the floors of what did they call the layers of hell. or the
Seven
floors.
Circles of Hell.
There it is, the Circles of Hell, where I heard they did really interesting things with the themes, but it's not enough.
Yeah, I might.
How many
carry on
layers
playing
did
through
you get
it.
in?
I'm only on the first bit. I've only just got past the tutorial, and it just makes me think that this is.
You're already gonna call
Yeah.
it
I mean,
quits.
McWobble,
I can see everything the game wants to do from the tutorial and the opening cinematic.
Sure.
Oh look, there's a woman who's got her boobs out.
That's
Ooh,
pretty
edgy.
much how I felt when I played Castlevania, the God of War version of Castlevania, the one with Konami with Kojima.
Lords of Shadow.
Thank you, Lords of Shadow. Yeah, it was just uninspiring, very janky, and just looked like a God of War ripoff that just didn't work right.
Yeah, so I might just bin that and carry on playing Forza Horizon, which is what I do when no one else is online to play Warzone.
Tuesday.
Sounds like a good life.
We haven't got one yet, but one day, Mitch, one day we'll be up with you on Tuesday.
Well, here's the thing. For work now, I have Tuesday and Thursday mornings into the slight afternoons off. So now I can play when you guys are off of work. We just have to coordinate before I go to bed and before you wake up.
I think it's funny because I'm usually at work, like on my phone and on my computer at the same time, and I see the shit pop up as you guys are talking about coordinating in Battle Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Well, and I was too busy playing the medium because I couldn't play it at midnight. I had to wait till 8 a.m. So,
Right, that's me. Let's talk about the medium for
Can I go first?
18 minutes.
Can I just say, I am devastated, and as a new Xbox owner, that they can call this a first-party
I was
game.
like, what's the meat?
Oh,
Oh no!
What's the meat?
It's bad.
Sorry. Say that one more time.
That looks like a nice roast fillet.
That's
Yeah.
this fillet, and I was so
Looks like a
confused.
fucking
Holy
delicious
shit!
roast.
I was so
thank you.
so
Okay.
focused on Dan. I did not.
I'm
I
sorry.
did not notice.
I'm sorry, Dan. Start over. I'm so sorry. I just got distracted by Rafa's background. I was like, what does that to
I
do
thought
with
he
the
was kind
medium?
of summing up the game as not well done. But basically,
There you go. Pretty good.
the game I'm very disappointed as a new Xbox owner that they can call this like it's a Microsoft first, or maybe it's not, they're not call it first party, but Microsoft Studios like game, like own exclusive to Microsoft, because oh my god, I could have played this game 15 years ago.
Wow. Is that bad?
Graphically, it is horrendous. It is the
Is it?
like the worst looking facial graphics. Like it is just like whatever engine they're using, they just chuck it in the bin and take someone else's engine. Because having this Series X, this is on the Series X. You might disagree on PC. Ultra might be amazing, but on their Series X, which is supposed to be 4K graphics, it looks ugly as shit.
I'll be
When I
honest.
compare it to
Disappointing,
like
yeah.
Horizon or Last of Us 2 and stuff like that, Ghost of
Spider-Man.
Are you
Tsushima,
comparing
first party
like with
Sony
like, though?
games. There's
Are you
night and day,
comparing? I don't know, the Johnson and Johnson vaccine and AstraZeneca.
It's only
66% compared to the
'Cause
95%.
this studio is a relatively small studio compared to
never
the ones that
realised
you were
that.
talking about.
This is our
Okay,
first
what I'll
big
do is
project.
see when Ken, A Bridge of Spirit comes out, which has got 15 people, and we'll compare it to this game, which is a small studio. And I can imagine even the picture images we've seen on that game, and it might turn out to be shit in real life because you can never trust pre-rendered imaging. But I was just very disappointed by
I'd
the
compare
graphical
what I've
fidelity
seen,
of this game.
because I haven't played it yet. I compare what I'd seen to, say, Godfall, the Spiders game that I played.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. The trailers.
So,
and shit.
here's the
I would
thing,
disagree
though,
slightly.
to address what
What I would say is, and I just meant that the game mechanics, it's just something like me playing like a Resident Evil game on the PlayStation 3. That's my comparison. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying playing it. But
I would slightly
for a
disagree.
next gen game, I know it's on previous gen, but like for PlayStation 4, PlayStation
It's
5,
not a,
It's not on
a
last
previous
gen. It's
No,
only
it's not.
it's only available on Series X because it can't run the simultaneous levels at
Yeah.
the same time. It's
Well, in that case,
I tried to download it. It was like, nope,
you
sorry.
can't. Like that's,
Yeah, it doesn't
in that
work on
case,
the one.
I'm
the
shocked.
reason the reason the game looks like that I personally think the environment design and everything that looks stunning. What hurts it is the moment when you look at the characters themselves.
Yeah, the character
Uh,
models.
the character models, and it's understandable given the pedigree of the studio, so I didn't expect more from that. I know the games they've been doing, they are great at doing environments, and it's fairly easy to do that today. You get the lighting right, you get the materials right, and it looks stunning, right? But animating, that's like, if you don't have if you don't do mocap, that will just not work. So perhaps they were limited in the animation departed, because yeah, it does look like something from the 7th gen.
Sorry, let
Um,
me Ralph, can you hold that screen up again that you had of playing the game on the phone? So
oh,
the reason
just
why,
this.
yeah, I know you're running on xCloud, but the reason why it's only available for this generation and on PC is because what the game is doing, which I think is absolutely remarkable. Now, I'm Burkoff and I had a slight conversation about this game. I'm like, if I would rate it right now, I'd give it an 8. I'm almost done with it.
Wow,
it's
I'd
about
give
an
it
8.
like a 4.
I would not give it a 4.
give it a
Not even
Wow.
close. So
No,
what it's doing is it's
it runs
literally running 2 complete levels, and they have to run them simultaneously.
running the game twice.
It's running the game twice in the
Yeah.
entire level
Yeah, that's
in a
cool.
brand new
Really
environment
fast
twice, which is
SSD.
remarkable. Now, I think in the gameplay department, I think it falls short. I think it basically, how I did an example is, you basically, it's very much an adventure game. It's very much an adventure horror game. And so what happens is you use the 2 worlds to solve puzzles within each other, which is very interesting, and it really works. Now, the thing that I have the issue with is,
Oh, okay. I get what you're
is,
saying about it running at the same time.
and so the issue I have with this game is I feel like they introduced this mechanic, and that's kindergarten. Like, you're showing the mechanic, you're in kindergarten, woohoo. But the issue is you don't get past first grade. So, like, they take the idea, but they don't go anywhere with it enough. They don't go far enough with the idea to be able to make it feel like you're learning something new, or like you're being challenged enough. It's kind of very much a hold your hand type of game. I will agree the animation is a little wonky, for
It's
sure.
horrific. It's not a little wonky. It's
Reminds me of the first
for
Life
this
is
generation.
Strange
It's horrific, Mitch.
whatever
Let's not
reason.
sugarcoat it.
I don't
We are
think for
in. We're in this generation. The graphics could have run on. I know they dual screen couldn't, but the graphics could have run on PlayStation 3.
Could they have run in 1992 or 94?
No,
But
sadly not.
I will say
Possibly
on,
not.
I
Good
will
years.
say on PC, and I have read a bunch of issues on PC, is that the biggest thing is it pushes your graphics card. So, like, basically this thing is a similar thing to I would say like a Cyberpunk 2077, where it runs great on PC, but when you go to the lower stuff, it doesn't run as well, because there are, I think now the facial animation is not of a, and plus, look, this game is not $60. If you look at the price point of this game, it's $50. It's even cheaper now. It's actually only $44 if
Well,
you look
it's
at it on
free
sale,
if you got Game Pass.
and it's free if
kinda-
you get it on Game Pass.
Yeah,
So the thing is, this isn't a AAA game. So for
It's kinda-
for not
kinda-
being,
Yeah.
it's
It's a
like
double
a
A
it's a
game.
Hellblade.
It's
It's a
something like
AAA look on a AA budget.
Well, it's kind of
issue, Mitch,
interesting.
is-
It's kind of interesting from a first party perspective.
Don't
right?
let Matt interrupt you. He shows up on the show.
I think
Of course, I'm going to interrupt. Um,
Because he
So
doesn't
the
have to worry about
graphics-
it anymore.
the graphics aren't like the best, right? It's not the order, but what it does do is it like performance wise, something we've never quite seen before.
Yeah. I would say that it's amazing that there's 2 games running at the same time. The problem
Yep.
is the graphical, facial expression, everything makes me fall out of the immersion, because I'm like, oh, it's clicked there. Oh, so that's what I'm thinking about the whole way through. And
My-
for a
my
horror
question to
game,
the three
if you're
of
out of the
you-
immersion, then the whole thing experience is ruined, in my opinion.
So I guess what I was
Shut
getting
up!
at
I was going to ask a question.
was
So Dan and then I'll come to Michael and Mitch. In the 10 minutes that we've got before Evan needs to leave, that he won't be able to play this game for some time anyway, because he's just such a Sony pony.
And doesn't have
He
a
goes
PC.
around, he goes around smashing Xboxes wherever he can see them. Your
it's
console is
true. I do that.
trash. You don't even have Spider-Man. And
Xbox is reckoning. That was my Bane impression. I'm sorry.
So whilst I appreciate the effort that the studio have gone to come up with this new idea, and it's pushing the limits of the system and couldn't have done it before, okay, great. What else have you done for it to be anything other than a gimmick?
Yeah, I as I said, I'm only about 5 hours in, so so far I haven't seen anything more than it just being like you can solve puzzles on 2 screens, because actually the second world is even more terrible than the first world, in my opinion. Like the weird, like artsy, like white faced, like porcelain thing they've gone for. Yeah, I'd rather see them like rotting and decaying. Right, it's really weird. I don't like how they've done it, in my opinion. Just not my preference. Other people might enjoy it. I just haven't. I'm enjoying the game, but what's really thrown me off is the fact that this Microsoft have put their like badge behind this. So if they're going to do that, you need to give this team more money.
First exclusive, by the way, too. I mean, you want to come out guns blazing, don't you?
Well, they were hoping Halo would be the first exclusive, so it's kind of slightly not what they planned, to be honest.
Halo might be the first Halo exclusive.
Mick Waller, can you re-ask your question? I'm not sure what you're technically asking.
So whilst they've put effort into creating these 2 worlds to run simultaneously, is there anything in the game that actually delivers anything more than that just being an overall gimmick? Is there anything engaging in it? Is there anything, when you talk about the power of the new consoles, or the power of it's pushing your graphics cards in PC? Okay, great, but what have you done with it that makes it different, other than just running 2 things simultaneously?
Michael, you can go before me. I'll go last because you haven't talked much.
I think it's a gimmick, if you think about it, because I think the game could have worked fine. It doesn't do anything extraordinary in either of the worlds for it not to be, oh, you press this button and then you change to this dimension. I get that there are some puzzles that.
Sorry, for the record, how far are you in it?
I think I played it for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like you could do certain things to not use this thing and have it on other generations. So I'm not really that. I don't think the game depends on this mechanic that much. The puzzles could have been. I think they are fairly simple. For me, I don't really tolerate horror that much. I mean, I do, but it's not a comfortable way of playing games, like being stressed all the time. So I really enjoy this game. I really enjoy like going through it. I like the story so far. I'm not familiar with the tropes of the genre, so for me everything is fresh. Although it was blamed in the reviews that it's using same tired tropes over and over again. Yeah, I find it an enjoyable experience, but objectively, it doesn't make too much sense for them to use this. It's a nice showcase, but I think it will make much more sense for the SSD to be there in Ratchet and Clank, for instance, because I think that a feature like that would be justified. So that's my take on it. I think overall this is a gimmick and just flexing the power of these new consoles. But it's not that meaningful.
I would disagree. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just a very quick observation that Silent Hill has done this for years, where it wasn't a gimmick of we have the power of running 2 worlds simultaneously. It was
they never did that.
And this is no, they never did that. But what they did was like, here's Silent Hill in the real world, and it kept flipping between the other world and back again.
Yeah,
the kind of to McWomble's point, right? Like the gimmick of like, oh, they're running at the same time. Isn't that kind of like a marketing bulletin point when they could have just done what Silent Hill has done for years?
I would rather them flip back and forth and graphically and everything else be better than have it running simultaneously at the same time. I know
disagree.
Mitch completely disagrees, but I can see why you've got publishers giving it like 30s and 40s, and you've got people giving it 80s and 90s. I definitely, because originally I was going to come on and say I wonder why it got bombed. After playing it, I can see why some reviews were
I
very
also
low.
believe some publications had much higher expectations from it when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think
Which is
they.
why they're
I think they're
Mitch,
actually.
I wanted to ask you a question about something because I saw you make a comment that say someone marked it down for not having combat in it.
Yes, I remember.
How fucking stupid is that?
I was pissed
Silly,
when I read
yeah.
that because
That's the-
here's the thing.
combat is not a
I
default.
get the understanding of the premise of, you know, you want to, maybe they were trying to say add a gameplay mechanic, but they just said it didn't have combat. So I don't think it's that good.
I think What Remains of Edith Finch should get marked down for not having combat.
Exactly. So,
Yep.
That's a
minus
stupid
3
way
points.
so
to
I
do
think
it.
Which is on
I think it
Game
was
Pass.
ridiculous, but I actually disagree with both. Back to like what we were talking about, I disagree with both of them. You could say yes, it is a gimmick, but at the same time, I think it's a proof of concept, and they just didn't have enough time to know where to go with it. Because I think there's so much you can do with this running 2 worlds simultaneously. I think it can absolutely change the way you play games, and I think they do some things. It may be in the basic premise, like I said, it's kindergarten going to first grade, not kindergarten going to high school. Like the span of experimentation with these mechanics. But I think there is something there that definitely can be an amazing experience, and I think this is just a proof of concept that they can do it. Now they have to just improve upon it.
Yeah, but okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I actually would love a Sony first-party studio to use this mechanic because I knew they'd actually do it properly. My gripe is the fact that this is a Microsoft, supposedly, I know it's a small team, but Microsoft have taken these teams under their umbrella, and it's the first Microsoft exclusive. So I'm going in with Sony exclusive eyes. I know that's a stupid way, but that's what I'm trying to compare them equally. Like, I'm trying to compare both parties equally.
I totally
and I'm
understand.
going in, and I'm disappointed with the final product.
No,
that's what I'm saying. And I'm the consumer. I'm disappointed with the final product.
I will agree with you in regards to being disappointed with the final product. I don't think it's as good of a game as it could have been, to be truthfully honest. And I think they marketed it not correctly to understand what the game was actually going to be. I don't think they marketed it to show that it was going to be an adventure game. I really don't. I honestly, I didn't even know what to expect to go into this game, to be truthfully honest, because they didn't market it very well of what it was actually going to be. All I knew is you're going to run 2 simultaneous worlds. So all you think of, and you have the composer of Silent Hill. So you're just thinking, is it Silent Hill? You're going to have combat. So maybe that's why the person complained there's no gun combat. Because they're like, I would love for Silent Hill to take this concept and work with it, because they could do something amazing.
I'm sorry. I gotta go.
You've got 2 minutes. You've got 2 minutes.
Yeah. Guess what? Someone's cheating, and it's not me. Let me tell you. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your episode. I will listen to the tail end of this when it's all done.
For sure.
Have a good night, guys. Cheers.
Yeah. Good
See ya.
night.
Yeah, bye-bye.
So
But
maybe I'm
again,
being overly harsh. on
No,
my
you're
judgment,
no. I don't think
but
you are. I think I think
think-
it is a real expectation to say that this team, definitely with Microsoft behind it, should have maybe Microsoft should have helped it more. I don't know. And to be honest, technically, it doesn't have the Microsoft Studios behind its actual menu screen, so technically, it's not a first party lineup. So that's probably
second
why.
party then.
It's more of a second party thing, and it's just being
Yeah.
like, well, we can run this on PC, so the Xbox is probably, we got the most powerful console, so we can run it. And so I think, and again, I give it 8s because I think the concept is really well, and it's really well conceptualized made, and I think the story is pretty good. I think there are a couple tropes that I have, which is, it's very tropey, but I think the way that they share those stories are unique, different, and interactive. And then the other thing I will say is my issue with the story slightly is there are times where it's like, when you're like giving a story, you always want to like dump a little bit of it at a time. You want to like get enough story. You're like at a good pace, Here they kind of like, they dumped it, but then they're like, they waited and they're like, oh no, we have 3/4 of water we have to dump. Okay, just dump it all. And then all of a sudden you have to like get you get this huge chunk of story and not enough time to process, not enough time to like understand context. That there are some times where I'm like, who is this? How does this connect? But then you finally get there, but you're like, whoa, we got there way too quickly.
I didn't get to that part to relate to the jug of water analogy, but another thing that I find to be kind of a cop out is how the character over explains things at times. Like it
Are you
there's
talking about
this
the self
voiceover.
monologue?
Yeah, self
Yeah,
because it goes along.
yeah. So
I do like that only because
I quite like
because
it
it does
'cause
set up
it kinda adds to the
it sets
story.
the world, it sets up the
Yeah.
rules, and it allows that so it doesn't have to try to explain it through dialogue because there's already so much dialogue.
at least in the beginning, in these 3 hours that I played, I
Mhm.
felt that they could have been much more clever about how they reveal that information, right? But again, small team. They do have like interesting games. They've done well received games. So yeah, this is pretty much in line with that. I think this gimmick actually took a toll on the overall production. So this is why they are kind of playing it safe, because it's something they've never done before. So they worked with new tech and they needed to do something that's fairly easy to achieve so that they don't ruin it, right?
You
So
kind of hit it on the nail. This team ran into the issue that most teams run into when you make the first game for a new set of hardware is where it's either a gimmick or whatever it is, you install it and you don't have enough time to really work with it and make it grow or polish it enough the way you want to because you're working so hard just to make it work so it can run on whatever the new console. You're learning about the new console.
they can only go
Then
up.
the problem is, I wouldn't necessarily say that's 8 worthy. But everything you've described is something that would be a 6, because then the next team would probably perfect it. Then being 8, I wouldn't give a game an 8 just because they're using a new concept well.
I think it's
if
a
the
solid
concept
7.
isn't actually
No,
delivered well.
I think if
But I
they
do-
mastered this concept, I would have been given it 9s because I think this concept
Oh,
is
yeah.
so revolutionary of the way you can play a game that just being able to do it on a console is enough for me to say you deserve good credit to make this run, to think of creative. Now they may be basic, but you thought of creative ways to change up gameplay in a dual environment that I never thought of doing.
They didn't do that.
I
That's
think
the
they
problem.
did. They
You're
did.
thinking of
So
future. You're thinking of
what I
future
would say is
games.
that you're
No,
all
I think they
right.
did that. I just didn't think they
So
expanded
because
enough.
because everyone experiences art subjectively,
Yeah, of
you're
course.
all
Everyone
right
knows
in what you're
opinion.
saying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course we are. What I would say is I'm enjoying the game, even though I'm upset with it. I'm enjoying the game, and I'm going to carry on playing it. I'm just disappointed. That's what I'd say. I'm disappointed by the graphical fidelity, and with a game like that where you've got to be immersed into the world, there's too many times where I'm like, oh, and like, which is like pulling me out of it, and which is sad because of the whole. Because when I am immersed, I'm enjoying it.
I think
I'm
they.
in love with the number of achievements I won in the first 3 hours. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
get a
hilarious.
shit
I keep
ton of
achievements just pop up
achievements.
left, right, and center.
Yeah, they come everywhere.
Thick and fast. They
I
come on
know.
Xbox, don't they?
I think the other thing why I'm giving it more credit than it. I mean, and to be honest, I'm like saying 8, but I definitely could see it giving it a high 7. Like
Okay.
it's worthy of a high 7, and I'm just giving it an 8 because I think the concept works, and I think that's awesome. But I think also with that in mind, I think what also they do is I understand your premise on why you think it's like a Resident Evil game from PS1 because it has the fixed camera angles, it's a little bit slower, and then I think they do a pretty good job. And I was telling Burkoff this earlier, is like, like for me, I personally would have loved to just have tank controls here because I'm just so used to it, and it would make the flow a little bit easier. But I think they do a
no 10 controls.
but I think they do a pretty good job of having streamlined modern controls with this fixed camera. There are some jiggles every now and then where you're switching the angle, but I think also what I really like is they did movement with the camera with the fixed angle, and I do think it offers opportunity. This game scared me. I've jumped many times
me
playing
too.
this game.
Me too.
It's getting genuine scares out of me. The music's amazing. The atmosphere is there.
Have you guys already talked about this in relation to The Evil Within?
Oh, when Burkoff and I were talking, I was telling him that I basically thought that this was like the reverse Evil Within in regards to like everything Evil Within isn't, this game is.
Oh, okay.
And vice versa.
Yeah. But I guess the question is, do you think this game?
I've not played either yet.
I would say play it. I would not say don't play it. I'd say definitely play it.
If you have Game Pass,
I'd
definitely
say-
play it.
I'd say like limited expectations, and I think it's just sad that this is Microsoft's first exclusive, and because I'm new to the Xbox world. Because I'm new to the Xbox world, I'm just experiencing like Sony exclusives, and that's my comparison base. And from that, it was disappointing. I know that's a stupid maybe a
So
comparison.
you've gone from kind of being showered in glory to being, I don't know, Crystal Palace.
But I think this is the thing. No matter what, Dan, I think you were going to run into this issue regardless with Microsoft, because unfortunately, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Sony fanboy, and I get it. People will say like, "Oh, you're a fanboy because you say this," but I'm going to tell you now, Sony has better rated, better quality first party games. I've not seen a Microsoft first party game that has gotten near. Now, like, obviously they have Forza Horizon that does get in the high 8s, maybe 9s, but there's nothing that has hit the quality. Name a time where an Xbox exclusive either got into the Video Game Awards for Game of the Year or won it. Because if you look at it, they just got blown out of the park.
As far as I'm
Can I-
concerned, first party,
let's
Nintendo,
twist
Sony, Xbox.
Twist it back on
I would
topic.
flip it, but that's just
So
me.
the comparison to Evil Within is one I wouldn't be familiar with, but what about the comparison to something like Until Dawn and Man of Medan?
That I would compare it to, very much so.
Oh.
I would compare it
That's
very
actually-
much to Until Dawn, except I think there's not
agree with you.
any QTEs in Until Dawn, and there's not as much I haven't played their other games, so I'm only going to say Until Dawn, but also there isn't as much interaction experience things because there's not as much action in this game. It's a lot slower. It's a lot more of like getting fed a story and then just kind of processing it, because it's a lot of dark themes.
It kind of reminds me of like a little bit more than a walking simulator in action, and so you're immersing yourself, and this is where I keep on saying upsets me, is because of the things it pulls me out of the world.
Sure.
Because if I was fully immersed, I would be on it the whole time, and I'm finding that the scare factors are good. I would like actually this mechanic being used by the Until Dawn studio, so you'd have like maybe two people walking in different parts of the map and stuff. That could, like, I could see the mechanic, Mitch. I could see it in the future being used amazingly. Yeah, I just don't think it was executed.
You could play a two-player game of two people playing in totally different areas, and somehow like you cross together, and then I think cleverly cinematically they do amazing stuff with the camera work to like you could see when Michael was showing off the screen of where the split screen's cut here, but sometimes they cut the split screen up here and do a split screen this way. They do so many clever ways with the split screen, and then also like seeing her interact with people in the other world, but then you see her body in the modern world and she's like hugging something, and you're like, she's hugging nothing. And that's just so interesting because it's like, if you walk down the street and you saw her, you'd be like, what the heck is this person doing, going like this and like hugging somebody and like touching midair. But they feel it, and so like and I think it works so well is because you're animating for the other world, so it's easy to just like copy paste, so then it automatically looks as if they were actually grabbing the person. So for like games, it works so well to like make it real, make it feel real. So there's so much.
This game reminds me of two other games from both from an aesthetic standpoint and narrative one. First one would be an old iOS game that was released during that time when Infinity Blade was really popular. It's called Dark Meadows, and you're this patient in this hospital of people with mental illness, and actually, like you need to go from corridor to corridor and go up the stairs, find the stairs, and reach the final level, and then at the end you actually battle the director of this hospital, which is a demon. And I don't know how close to that story this will be, but I feel like it's going there, especially based on some shots I've seen on Digital Foundry's review. Right, so that's one thing, and the other thing, it gives me strong. I haven't played it yet. I think there are some parallels with Control, because you've got like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I think of Control, like I think of
Yeah.
Control based on everything I've seen of that game so far. Of course, it doesn't play the same way, but I feel like it has like similar bits to it. So I'm eager to play Control as well next month and see where that goes.
It is the same in its ambiguous.
Yeah.
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Yeah, thank you. It's about the same. I will say I think Control's a little more fleshed out because you have a little more time, and plus they do change up the gameplay mechanics a little bit more compared to this game. But I will say there's one time I accidentally in this game, the medium, and I told Matt this too. I accidentally I actually outsmarted the game and almost broke the game. So what you can do in the medium is when Michael was showing the two worlds, if you're in the not real world, the other world, I'm just going to call it the other world, but when you're in the other world, when you're having that split screen like that, there are times where you go up to like a door in the real world and it's not open, but in the other world it is. And what you can do is you can transfer your entire essence to the other world and pass through and then be able to find things to help you unlock the door in the real world. So I ran into one of those situations, and so I passed through, and I was going to this certain location, and I thought, oh, if I maybe the thing I'm looking for is over there. And so I passed through and I went to that location, and I guess I wasn't supposed to go there just yet until I got my real body there, because all of a sudden things started to happen. And then I realized I just needed to go like around the corner with my real body somewhere else. But because I like streamlined and went ahead to where I was supposed to go, but my real body was supposed to be there too, it like cut scene almost happened and then stopped, and then like and then like I heard noises and then sound effects, and then she was saying something, and then I had to reboot the level because it just didn't compute. It was like,
okay,
you're not supposed to be here, even though you're supposed to be here.
Yeah. Because you also like you cannot stay in that state. There's like
for long.
You can
Yeah.
stay like that for like 30 seconds or 40. I don't know, but your body like dissipates. It goes
Yeah.
away.
So I thought that was hilarious. Is like I outsmarted the game and I almost broke it.
I think trying to kind of bring it back to overall feelings about it. When I was watching media about it, it did make me think like this is Microsoft's version of Supermassive or Supergiant?
Mm-hmm.
Supermassive games.
Supermassive.
Until
Dawn, basically.
It's interesting because in the Man of Medan and A Little Hope, you can play those co-op, but the co-op is on a server and you don't see what the other person is doing. So I don't know, the next evolution of this might be like you were saying, Mitch, where you actually see what the other person is doing, but you have no control over what they're doing.
Yeah, and then you can like meet together, and then the screens will like all of a sudden go to full screen. It would be like really cool to see those transitions.
The interesting thing for me is going to be about the story, if it's actually scary, which from what you guys are saying, good, it is actually scary. Mm-hmm. And I'll come back with thoughts after I've put some time into it. Do we know how long the game is?
8 hours.
12 hours, isn't it?
8.
12? 8. Oh, is it 8? Oh, so I'm nearly finished then.
Yeah, I basically have maybe an hour left.
Okay.
Right.
I'm glad. Yeah, that's what I think. I just, as I said, I like the game and I'm enjoying it. I was just a bit disappointed. That was all.
I would have been more frustrated if they were charging $60 for the game, even though I got it on Game Pass for PC.
Even 50, it's a lot. I would say 40 is the right.
Yeah, I think 30, in my opinion. 30 would have been a good price point.
Dan, I was actually gonna say, I agree with Mike. Actually, I was gonna say I would have paid 40. It was probably the maximum 40. I would pay for this, but it's on for 44. I think that's fine. I'm fine with pushing it to $44. if you had to pay for it. But honestly,
I
just
wonder how many pounds it's on for. You know, Keith? I'll Google
No.
it.
But yeah. I mean, I recommend it to just. It's an interesting experience to try to like witness what games can do in the future, which is now.
It's a fresh experience to come from like 140 hours of Assassin's Creed Valhalla to just get this short experience. Like it's great to just go into something like this after a game like that.
So I went to the game website to try and find how much it is, and I typed in the medium, and then this is what came up.
Did you get
'Cause I don't
Long
think it's got a
Island
physical.
Medium?
No, it didn't come up.
Oh, the reality TV show. I love that TV show.
Fuck out of here. Wow.
The Mandalorian.
So I don't think it's available for a physical release.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
no.
currently available on the Microsoft Store in the UK.
Really?
Yep.
Uh,
The only price coming up is $44 in America. It's only available on Game
Interesting.
Pass. It looks like in the UK. I'll look on the store later, but
It's probably available on Steam, is what they're doing, and then it's Dan, I agree with it's not a good showing for Microsoft to push it
I think that's where I was going in from. That was my kind of viewpoint. I went in from
to
as
promote it the
someone
way
who's
they
owned-
did and not.
who's
not-
owned Sony consoles his whole life to my first Xbox console. This is their first exclusive. So that's why I'm going to judge it in similar vein. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's slightly misconstrued of me. But that's why I went in. So I was just a little bit disappointed. I'm liking the story. I'm liking the immersion when graphical things don't pull me out. There is a few scary bits. So I'm going to carry on playing. I think, disappointed with the fact that this is Microsoft's first Microsoft exclusive on this new generation of consoles.
But is this a question for another day? Where have Microsoft focused too much on asking people just to use the ability of the machine rather than use the ability of the machine to make something compelling?
I want to make a quick note on that. 'Cause
Go ahead.
I wanted to mention it before. I read an article a while ago. I think it was last year when someone or it was in a podcast. I don't know. Someone made a point that usually at Sony, the way developers and studios are pitching the game is by making like a prototype, and this is they make a full playable prototype, and this is why they for most of the time they do have gameplay in their trailer, in their reveals, right? And that doesn't happen over at Microsoft. They just pitch ideas. They don't do anything before they actually shake hands and start developing the game. So in a way, this may be why Sony's exclusives are more qualitative in that sense, because they Sony approves a game that they've already kind of seen how it's supposed to work. It's not just an idea that they have to imagine in their head. So maybe that's the issue with Microsoft.
You're slightly right, but also slightly off. Sony does approve it like Microsoft would as a basic proof of concept. Most of the time, that demo is just a demo of proof of evidence of what the direction they want to go for the direction of the game. It's not.
Yeah, of course.
It's not what they pitch to Sony. Sony already approves the project before they start doing that, because they show them. I only know this because when they did the God of War documentary, they went from the very beginning of the process to the very end and explained where they went throughout it. And they were already pitched to Sony. They had like diagrammed of like the three elements of this game is going to be combat, story, and narrative. Combat, narrative, and exploration. And these were the three big concepts. And basically and you're right, they do create these demos to basically make sure they have the engine they want, make sure the tools work that they're going to work with, and it's mostly what they're going to be doing in the end. And then they just take those tools and then just apply it to and build the game from there with those tools. So you're like half right, but yes, they do have a proof of concept built in. But they're like Microsoft. I think just Microsoft doesn't have the one experience compared to something like Sony. Sony's been in the business longer than Microsoft has. Sony has had more success and more failures than Microsoft. Therefore, they've had more talent to pull from. And I think also because of their pedigree, they get better talent than something like a Microsoft studio would get. Microsoft also, unfortunately, pigeonholes their studios automatically by going, we're building 343. You're going to make Halo. We're going to build the Coalition. You're making Gears. Instead of saying, we'll build the studio. You make the game you want to make. And I think that's the issue that Microsoft runs into with its first party development. I don't even think, to be honest, the Coalition that they just created, I think that's what they called it. Is that the new one they built that's making Perfect Dark? I would not be surprised on top of my brain if Microsoft said you're making Perfect Dark and didn't even ask them what they wanted to make. So like, I think that's their issue, is they're trying to pigeonhole people into franchises they may not have as much passion for compared to like, look at what Guerrilla did when they had the opportunity to make what they wanted to. Like they make Killzone games forever. Sony didn't pigeonhole them to say you have to make a Killzone game. They pigeonholed themselves. But then when they said, oh, let's try something new and different, Sony said, awesome, like the concept, go for it. They can make something amazing.
And then they got the ultimate reward of
Game of the Year.
His
No, they didn't actually.
His Majesty himself, Hideo Kojima, deciding to use their engine to make his games.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think that's unfortunate that they do that, and it's just a horrible. That's where I think it's going to be ultra awakening for people that go to Microsoft this generation. It's going quality.
One Microsoft exclusive in. Don't buy next gen. Stay with your old one on Game Pass. That's my advice to you so far.
That's fair.
I agree.
Stay with your PC and don't bother upgrading your console.
I concur. If you have a PC that can run. Even though the medium, I will say, has, and I don't knock it for its technical, because I think it's partially because of the way I'm adjusting my settings on my PC. I was still playing with it because I haven't played very much on my PC, so I'm still figuring out like what resolution, what frame rate, all that kind of stuff. But it's a beast. It takes up my 100% of my graphics card to try to run this thing.
Right. Do you know what game doesn't take up 100% of your graphics card?
Dauntless?
No, Cyber Shadow.
Oh, I thought I was going to say Cyberpunk.
No.
And that just takes 100% of your soul.
It does, yeah.
Right.
And on that note,
you can't do that anymore.
Wait, I wasn't even ready. You can't. What I was gonna do, Burkhoff, I was gonna let you do that, but I was gonna give you a shoe in to be like, "Can you do that for us?" when I was ready, but I'm not ready, so I haven't hit the button yet.
I wouldn't let him do it now. Yeah. Just shows up, thinks he runs the show again.
Well, gentlemen, we are out.
Straight up there.
Oh.